But the gig line was straight, the buckle was right in the middle, the ascot was pressed, it wasn't all wrinkly, it was right, creased down the middle, the berets weren't all soupy.
Pocket still sewn shut?
Pocket shell
Your
shut.
pocket still sewn
Pocket
shut?
sewn shut, you couldn't put something in your pocket you wanted to.
You still have yours?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it.
Jack wears his every night.
I'm sorry, sir.
Jack wears his every night.
But, you know, the thing is, perspective, I was emailing Mr. John Acapul.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. This was just last year. You know, and he asked me to send out a newsletter. I said, sure, hey, what can I do for you? You know, he found out that I was a guardsman. I said, you know, sure, I will knock that out in a heartbeat. And I said, you know, it's good to see, you know, some of the names, some of the old guards, you know, seeing some names and stuff that I hadn't seen some years. And he wrote this back, and I think it's just prophetic because it's all about perception of who I think is old. I have to respond to your old guard members with a smile. My good friend in Bellevue, Tom Craig, joined the Air Force in 1950 and guarded SAC headquarters in 1956 as Det A, or Det Alpha, before becoming an original member of the SAC drill team in January 1957. Yeah, I got to recamp my, you know, it was good to
right
recap with some old guard members. Is that you, sir? I just, you know, that, just perspective, you know, because as you heard in my bio, I was born in 1965. Again,
You can still whip your butt.
Tom and Joe used to throw rifles at each other.
exactly. So, you know, it's all about perspective, and these young gentlemen in the back, you know, someday they'll be saying the same thing, hopefully, you know, and keeping it in perspective. But the perspective that is not lost is my thanks to you for allowing me to wear your uniform that you developed and carry on your tradition, because it's important. What we do is a very important job. It's not always sexy. But I tell you what, the SAC Elite Guard could do something looking pretty sexy.
That's right.
And crack some heads at the same time. If there was a unit that could do that, it was the SAC Elite Guard. And for me, it was the 3906. And I thank you for the service that you have given us. I thank you for the leadership you have given us. I thank you for all the efforts. Because times weren't always easy in security police. We've always dealt with manpower issues. We've always dealt with financial issues. We've always dealt with perception issues of our civilian counterparts. And y'all have lived through that. And y'all came through with shining colors. And I thank you for that. Because without you, I wouldn't even be here. It's that simple. And so from today's 24,179 active duty security forces member on duty around the globe, we thank you for your service and for allowing me to come before you and just share a couple moments. As we talked before I stepped up here, don't normally do this. This would be the end. But from the seat I sit in the Pentagon, I was hired by retired now Major General Mary Kay Hertog in 2009. Brigadier General Jimmy McMillan signed me over from her as his career field manager. Now I start my third general, which is General Alan Jamerson. Is there any questions that I can answer for you of the current state of security forces if we have a few minutes?
Sure. Got a question.
Yes, sir.
I hear they're building or tearing down Building 500. What do you know about that?
They're refurbishing Building 500. I had confirmed that they're tearing it down, and that was actually in General Welsh's confirmation as well.
They're tearing it down and they're moving the entire building.
I hadn't heard that.
They are.
Oh, really? I mean, because I was there when it went from basic analog command center to the digital command center back in, it was the late 80s, early 90s when they did that. I hadn't heard they were getting rid of the
or to demolish the building where the new BX is on base. Is the general area where they're gonna
Really?
break down.
Wow, that seems like a pretty massive MILCON project.
That's Stratcom.
It is.
New Satcom.
There was a
New
figure
Sat-
tossed around, somewhere monetary figure, who was it, Rich?
Yep, 383, or 683 million. It's gonna be where the old bond-based golf course was.
Really? They're gonna have to dig it deep. Yes, sir.
Have you seen our sack shield?
I think we have to start with the two last people who were holding it, who was Chief Larry Pinkham, who's back in Omaha, and Major Chris Zay, who is in Canada right now. So I think we need to start with them and peel that one back.
Because it was in somebody's bar downstairs in the basement when you get back.
We have a reward.
We
Yes, yes, we have a
just,
reward.
we just know that it is probably prominently displayed and lit 24/7, and that's important. Any other questions? Again,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
Where do you see the career field, if you were looking down the road, say 20 years, what type of changes do you see to that field?
I see a lot more changes in the use of technology. Believe it or not, who remembers discs doing cordons with grease pencils? We're still doing that today. Can you believe that? We're still doing that today. We have to catch up with the technological advances of using GPS monitoring for patrols, responses, alarms, and things like that. Allow global position plotting of these incidents and things like that, because we can't continue to operate this way. We have to keep those things just in case the power goes down. We have to keep that talent, but we are going to become much more technologically advanced. I have to believe we're going to become a smaller force as well. Does anyone remember what the size of the force was in 1970? Security forces, well, security police at the time.
40,000?
It was roughly 40,000. Today, we sit at 24,000. It's about 24/8 when you count the 700 officers we have on the active duty side. And then you throw in another 3,000 reservists, another 6,000 guardsmen, and then that's what gets our numbers up overall. But technologically wise, we have to advance that. We're going to do it lighter and leaner. I think our missions will continue to stay remotely the same. When needed, we will go outside the wire and do those things, but that won't be the habit. Because the thing is, we still need to focus on what's inside the wire, but include the surface air missile footprint as it is. Any other questions? Yes,
What's
sir.
your opinion right now of your training you're giving your personnel? In light of, current world conditions?
Our training's good. I stand here telling you this falls directly under my purview as a career field manager. Our training is good. It's not great. It's good. For some reason, God watches over us intensely. And we continue to come out shining like a rose on the tail end of any incident. But we're a blessed career field.
The reason I'm asking you that is I remember the nights on the perimeters in Vietnam, and the firefights and things like that. So that's one reason I asked you that.
Yes, sir. My goal, and it's been a work in progress over the last couple of years since I've been in DC, is to limit the amount of overall tasks we're tasked with and bump up the proficiency level. Because you'll consistently hear that we're a jack of all trades, master of none. We have to peel off some of those tertiary tasks that do not directly correlate to our mission essential tasks. And once we do that, then we can increase that proficiency level on those things and become a force by design that's capable of doing things versus by accident. I'm not proud to say that, but I can't prove to you that we did it right because of our training. And so I have to say it that way. If I could say, no, we've trained on that, we've become experts at it, then I would say, no, we're good to go. I can't say that. And look you in the face and say it, sir. Something I'm not proud of. But it takes, when we talk to airmen, I equate it that we're a battleship. Or excuse me, we're an aircraft carrier, one that's even slower. And it takes a while to turn it around and get that thing going in a direction when you start talking all the manpower, all the resource and all that in a fiscally constrained environment that we live in today. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chief, we were told, briefed, threatened, and everything about an act called Posse Comitatus Act. Homeland Security has modified Posse Comitatus to the extent. Can you enlighten us any now, just basically, what's going on with this act, with the Posse Comitatus Act?
We told you you'd have to kill
I won't tell you what.
Hurry, tell
them. 9/11 changed a lot of things for us, and a lot of them are written, and Posse Comitatus falls right in there. Because as you saw, who was guarding airports? Who was enforcing law? Who was enforcing civil law? Now, the one thing that technically hasn't changed is you can always defend yourself. Military. No matter where you are, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. If you are armed, you can defend yourself. The thing is they're stretching where we're at to be in contact with some of this stuff. Because we should never be at a civilian airport. But now the one thing that is a little different, though, is the Title 32 and Title 10. That you see not a majority of active duty at these locations. You see guards people. And that's that loophole that a lot of this stuff falls into. And that's what allows Posse Comitatus to be stretched. It's not broken. They're stretching the hell out
I
of
know it's stretched.
it. Yes, sir. And I don't know if that answers your question or not.
I just wanted, some of the guys who talked about it,
Because back in the day, here I go acting like I'm old. But back in the day, there was no question about Posse Comitatus. We weren't ever put in those situations. It was just
The threat is different.
the threat was different.
it was clear cut.
Yes. And I think that's what changed our environment. Our environment changed, and so the utilization of this law changed as well. You don't look satisfied with that answer.
I see circumstances from time to time where I think it's very dangerous.
Yes, sir. I will say, I think that our airmen are aware of the dangers, and we have significantly increased the use of force continuum. That it is, we don't go basically directly from a confrontation to deadly force. We have the tools in between: pepper spray, ASP, expandable batons, tasers, and so there's several things that can de-escalate a situation before we have to go to deadly force, which is key to us being able to operate in those environments without putting our people in danger. And when I say in danger, it's not physical danger, it's in danger of law. And I think that allows us to operate in those environments.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, sir.
Of our appreciation to a fellow guardsman. Get it out of here. Thank you, Chief, from all the members of SEGA. And it's the SEGA Reunion 2012, San Antonio, Texas. And it's got our Sakhalin Guard emblem in the back, signed by the members. I'd like to present that to you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another small token is our challenge coin.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And the biggest one, effective today, right now. He is the newest member of the Sakhalin Guard Association. Your dues have already been paid for this year. You're a card-carrying member. The card's in the mail.
Yes, sir.